Everybody on YouTube, this is Ken with XMods Gaming with another review. This time is going to be the game console from old school called the NES. I don't think they call it the NES, but it's an NES clone called the Classic N HD. Um, so this console, I think, ran me right around like $65 to $70 on Amazon. So I bought this with my own money about, I would say, 2 months ago. So go ahead and subscribe, because I'm not getting any money off of this, no sponsorships or anything. So I just thought it would be something cool. I already have a original NES that you guys saw me in previous videos mod, or as far as not mod but repair, with a new pin connector and all that. So this is something that I could play in my bedroom, hooked up to an HD TV. So this actually has a HDMI port on it, 720p capabilities as it states on the box. It comes with two controllers and then a 16:9 and 4:3 aspect ratio. So that's another thing that's pretty cool about this. And there's nothing really in the box because I just shoved the old, what I was using before in there, which was a retro bit console that wasn't high def. But yeah, it comes with AV cables. Yeah, it says the Classic in HD answers, and it's spelled with classic with a Q at the end. Let's see, answers to clean 8-bit visuals and fancy HD TVs. Dust off your original cartridges and homebrews and get your game on. Let's see, on the back of the console, you can toggle aspect ratio to original 4:3, 16:9. Play the way you like it. Let's see, extra comfortable controllers. So it comes with two of those. And then supports original NES cartridges. Two controllers included. Compatible with original NES controllers. So you can use original NES controllers if you want. And then compatible with homebrew games and AV compatible. So you don't have to hook this up to HDTV. So if you like to use just a CRT screen, you could definitely do that. And that's then again in front of the box. And because I have owned this and hooked it up, I'm just going to kind of just show the meat and potatoes of this console. And then you got your dust cover, your cartridge slot, obviously. And there's some heft to it. Here's a comparison. So it's a little bit shorter this way than actual NES game. And the games kind of fit in. It's a little bit, they call cartridge grip or death grip. There's a little bit, not too bad actually. It's pretty much because the console is a little lightish, but not as light as some of the other clone ones. This actually has a little bit of heft to it, so it's not like it doesn't feel that cheap, to be honest. Even though it probably does, it is probably cheaper than most. But for the cost, it is pretty good. And you guys know me. I don't have any issues like tearing a console apart if I'm spending my own money. There's no incentive for me to give this a glowing review at all. But yeah, you got your power reset button and your two controller connections. And then here's just one of the controllers. It comes with two of them, but one of them, and it's instead of like the original NES controller, it's kind of has like this, I call it a boomerang, but it's not really curved like physically, but just a comfortable grip on it. Start and select button, It has a pretty decent length on it. Time will tell. I've used clone controllers where you wind them up. You do the old wind it around the controller in the strain relief. This doesn't seem to have it, but either does the original controller. And it's not a piece of rubber there. It's probably like a knot inside or something. But yeah, pretty good cable length. I would actually use this controller if it wasn't for the 8-bit Do controllers that are wireless. So this would actually probably be my go-to controller. It's that comfortable. The buttons do have that kind of like a little too springy, but not bad at all. Like, I can't really complain for aftermarket. A lot of aftermarket controllers have felt better over the years. So I guess they call this the Cadet, designed in the US, okay, made in China. So I think this is called the Cadet controller, but it doesn't actually say it on the back of here. But you can buy these controllers individually. And then, so what it's going to say on the bottom of the console. Made in China. No shock there. And then there's your aspect ratio. So I think out 16:9, which kind of stretches the image because older TVs, for the younger audience, older TVs were square. So now modern TVs are rectangle, which is 16:9, and square is 4:3. Like, if you play like old VHS tape or old DVD, on some DVDs, it'll just fit the middle of the screen. So that's the way I like to play, just because it's the original. And then you got left and right audio. I believe this is in stereo, but they're 8-bit chip tunes, so I'm not really too concerned if it isn't, but it does sound good. And then there's your HDMI port. Then again, 720p. And then, let's put a aftermarket, which, the pins the boards are usually a little bit wider on aftermarket knockoff cartridges. So it usually gives more of a death grip, but it's not too bad on this console. And then it also does come with a power brick, which is 5 volts and like 1 amp. So that's cool. You don't have to go searching your house for a USB power brick. And then it gives you a really, let's see, how tall am I? 5'9". So yeah, they give you like a 6-foot power cord, which is USB, micro USB. Honestly, I wish it was USB Mini. Everyone says, "Oh, I wish this was USB-C." That would be nice too, but I like USB Mini just because it's a beefier connection. Or yeah, USB Mini over micro USB. So this is micro USB. USB Mini is pretty old, so it would be hard to find a replacement cable if you lost this. But with this cable, you could find a replacement at a dollar store if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to show you one kind of bonus feature that I like about this. Okay. That's kind of why a lot of people like USB-C, because you don't have to like concentrate on putting it in. A lot of people tend to ruin stuff because they don't look at what they're plugging in. All right, so bonus feature, you power this thing on. Let's see if I could turn off the light here. Yeah, RGB on the end logo. So that's a nice touch. Like, that almost sold me on it alone. But it is a really good scaler inside here, and it has a pretty decent color palette. A little off from the original NES, but all the clone systems are. So, yeah, with this said, to wrap up this review, I'll show gameplay and see if there's any input lag. So we'll go ahead and do that next. All right, here we are with the video footage of it. As you can tell, it looks pretty nice. I have it set to the 4:3 aspect ratio. Yeah, I could set it to like 16:9 real quick. And, you know, of course it does stretch it out and, you know, it doesn't look like the best. But, so, you know, personally, I like to play on the 4x3. So, and sorry to anyone that has seen a review about this. I know I'm like probably 5 years too late or something. I'm not sure when this came out. I want to say it came out the last couple years. So, you know, there's other reviews on it. But, you know, I figure if I'm investing money into something like this, I'm just not gonna not review it. So as you could tell, some clone consoles have a problem with like Mario 3, but all right, let's do a lag test. Nothing scientific here, but I'm using the 8-bit Do controller, wireless controller from Retrobit. That might create some lag, but I'm just gonna hit the A button. So I'm just gonna go now. So yeah, I would say about the lag's not too bad. You're looking like maybe a couple milliseconds, maybe. So some consoles, what I mean by lag, when you convert them from HDMI or from analog to HDMI, I should say, that conversion chip, the AV chip they put in it, will kind of process the signal. And this is probably more digital to digital connection between that upscaler. Oh, dang. Sorry, I have a hard time talking, but just to kind of give you an idea what it looks like. I notice there's some, like, if you see, there's a little bit of artifacting when I'm running, but oh, okay, the turtle came alive, but that's just a scan line, or the overscan, I should say. So you wouldn't see that on a CRT screen. The way to fix that is probably to stretch it from border to border and then have it stretch and blow out the screen, as far as wash it out. But it is 720p. So let's see. Let's try a different game. I just have my multi-cart plugged in here for the sake of time. And I guess we could try Castlevania. And I apologize because the reason why I have no audio is because of copyright strikes. But what I'll do, I'll put the audio on. So you guys could kind of hear the audio. Plus, I don't have a capture card, so the only way I capture like analog footage is with a DVD recorder, and I have no way to capture HDMI footage besides pointing a camera at a TV. And I would say Castlevania is a good way to showcase the audio. And I like the color palette. That was kind of the main decision. It was like between this or like the newest Retrobit one or the Gamers Tech NES. So I went with old school just because I saw some other reviews about it, and I kind of like the color palette. It looks a lot like the original NES. Let's see. Let's see how far I can get. Oh, dang it. Start walking up the stairs. Yeah. All right. I'm just kind of playing it a while so you guys get a better idea what the color palette's like. All right, come on. Get over here. Dang it. Of course, there would be a bat flying that low. Jeez. Oh. I kind of was not pressing the right button. All right. It kind of makes me look like a noob, but if I'm not concentrating, then... But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, I recommend it. I would actually use the original controller, but you know, HD TV is kind of far away, so I kind of recommend picking up a wireless NES controller if you can. They're about $30. They're not exactly cheap, but you know, you can have the perfect NES setup with for your bedroom, your living room. You know, especially if you have this wall mounted on a mantle or something. You know, I highly recommend it. But yeah, go ahead and if you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. None of you leave a comment at all. So I've been doing this since 2012. So I'm just trying to up the game. Probably, you know, I even up my audio quality. Just trying to invest in the channel. Maybe I'll get a capture card eventually. But yeah, just show me some love and subscribe. And then, you know, go to our Facebook group if you want to join that. And then, yeah, I even have an Instagram, which is XMods Gaming. And then our Facebook group is XMods Gaming, all one word. My website, if you're into repairs, is xmodsgaming.com. And go ahead and fill out the form if you want to if you want me to repair your console, you know, and I'll just shoot me an email is what the form does, and I'll get back to you. Also, I'm going to do a t-shirt giveaway. So all you have to do to sign up for that is go ahead and subscribe and then send me an email from my website. Just fill out the form and then just put an attachment with a screenshot of you subscribe to this channel, and that will get you into the giveaway. And then I'll probably do the giveaway. I'll do it. I'm going to do it soon. I'm probably going to do it Friday. So nothing special. It's just good, you know, first come, first serve. So, you know, I'm going to pick people by random. So if you're the only person that has done those steps, then you'll get a shirt, and I'll just ship it out directly to you. And just tell me what type of shirt size you like. So it's Ken with XMods Gaming. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.